We consume more information than any generation in history, and we remember almost none of it. This is a special episode, not part of any series, just something I have been thinking about, and I think you have been thinking about too. Even if you have not named it yet. Here is the thing. You have watched hundreds of videos this year, read dozens of articles, maybe some books, listened to podcasts while driving or cooking or watching, consumed an enormous amount of content about psychology, self-improvement, science, and culture. But now tell me what you remember about it, not vaguely, but specifically. What the idea actually changed how you think? What piece of information do you still carry with you? What actually stayed? For most people, the honest answer is almost nothing, not because they are not intelligent, not because the content was bad, because of how memory actually works, and because almost nothing about how we consume it, content, is designed to produce lasting memory. But let me explain what is actually happening. The brain doesn't store everything equally. It stores things that are connected to something already there. Things that produces an emotional response. Things that were encountered more than once. Things that were used, applied, spoken out loud, written down, acted on. Everything else fades, not slowly, but quickly. Actually, in 24 hours, we forget roughly 70% of new information. Within a week, close to 90. The forgetting curve is steep, and it's ruthless. And here is the thing about passive consumption. Watching a video, reading an article, listening to a podcast while doing something else. These are all passive. The brain is receiving, not processing, not connecting, then not storing, just receiving. And receiving without processing leaves almost no trace. You felt interested in the moment. The dopamine of novelty, as we covered in episode 9, made it feel like something was happening. And then the content ended, and the trace was almost nothing. This isn't a personal failure. This is what passive consumption produces for everyone. So what actually sticks? The research on memory and learning is very specific about this. Emotion makes memories. The brain prioritizes storing experiences that were emotionally significant, content that made you feel something genuinely. Stores better than content that just informed you. This is why the story of the Challenger engineers is more memorable than a bullet point list about the danger of a group thinking. The story produces feeling, the bullet point doesn't. Feeling is the signal the brain uses to decide what is worth keeping. Connecting also creates retention. New information sticks when it connects to something already in the brain, when it fits into an existing framework or challenges an existing belief, or explains something that was previously unexplained. Information that floats free without no connection to anything already there has nothing to attach to, and nothing to attach to means nothing to retrieve. And then there is an application. The gap between information and knowledge is what you do with it. If after watching this video you think about one thing you consume passively and deliberately change how you engage with it, write a note about it. Tell someone what you learned. Apply the idea to something in your actual life. The probability of remembering it in 6 months increases dramatically. But if you just watch it and move on to next video, the probability approaches 0. The most effective learning also doesn't happen from one encounter. It's happening from multiple encounters spaced over time. So seeing an idea once produces weak memory. Seeing it again 3 days later strengthens it. Seeing it again a week after, that strengthens it further. This is the most evidence-based learning technique that exists. Most people never use it deliberately. But here is the uncomfortable implication of all of this. Most of what we are consuming right now is disappearing. Not accumulating, but disappearing. Then the hours of content, the interesting video, the enlightening podcasts, the articles we bookmarked and never read again. We feel like we are learning because the feeling in the moment is real. The novelty feels like growth. But feeling interested is not the same as learning. And the forgetting curve doesn't care how interesting it felt. So what does this mean practically? Consume less, engage more. Or one video watched with full attention and then written about or discussed produces more lasting knowledge than 10 videos watched passively in a row. Take one note after anything worth remembering. Now let's take a note. One sentence. What is the single idea from this that I want to keep? Writing it down begins the consolidation process, and the act of finding the one sentence forces the processing that passive watching skips. Then tell someone, the oldest and most reliable memory tool there is. Explaining an idea to another person, force retrieval, organization, connection, all three of the processes that covered information into memory. And the most important one, use it. Find one place in your actual life where the idea applies. Do something differently because of it, even once. Action is the most powerful memory consolidation tool available, and is the one that almost nobody uses deliberately. We are living in the most rich information-rich environment in the history of the species, and we are retaining almost none of it. Not because we aren't curious enough, not because the content is not good enough, because consumption without engagement isn't learning. It's just passive time with the feeling of learning attached to it. And the feeling and the thing aren't the same.